You seemed very confident.
I was very confident.
Yeah, go ahead and light it. Okay, closer.
It's all science.
Kids book.
That's my experience.
Kids book.
Kids book.
This episode of Pringles Old Time Jamboree Fun Experimental Theater Hour brought to you by Squarespace. Head on over to squarespace.com/rogue, spell it correctly, and get 10% off. That wasn't a joke.
Ryer, it was very odd when you pitched this episode because the thing you described involved explosions and fire and fuel-air mixtures.
Yep.
But in the same breath, you said, and children can do it. I learned it from a children's book.
Yeah, I think all best children's activities usually involve flame and explosions and compression and expansion.
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
Some things do never change.
We're gonna build a mortar.
A bullet is a self-contained fuel that explodes, and the bullet only has one way to go, and that's out of the tube. Whereas a mortar, similar to when we made the potato cannon, it's like a powder and musket kind of situation.
Right.
You got fuel-air mixture, a spark, explosion happens. Hopefully it doesn't blow out the back of it, and it goes out. And I guess most of us, if you're in rural states, have played with the firework mortars, right?
Right. Michigan, fireworks were illegal for a long time, and then they finally weren't illegal, and so we, of course, all bought them having no idea how they were supposed to work. So my first pack of mortars like this that I got, so I had the tube, and I was like, I don't know, ADD, I'm not gonna read the instructions, I don't know what this thing is. Threw that away and just lit this and set it on the ground.
Oh, dear.
And blew the siding off my neighbor's house.
Well, yeah, especially because the way these work, we've got, this is the propulsive part,
right?
The fuse goes in, this is the casing part of the bullet, right? And this provides the propulsion that launches this up, and at which point the fuse keeps on going to the payload that times out so that while it's up in the sky, relatively safe, it'll finally explode. So what are we doing here?
Okay, so with this, we have our propulsive force is contained in the thing that we're firing off.
Right.
We're not doing that. We're doing more of like a traditional cannon thing, right? So for fuel, we have just regular lighter fluid, right?
Yeah.
But it can be kind of tricky to get the right fuel-air mixture. We're inside a contained space. We want as much of a energetic ignition of this stuff as possible. We also have this, I believe it's methanol. This is a fuel additive, but just a type of alcohol.
Yeah, so this will be, the difference here is we have two different flash points. As we've learned before with Zippo lighter fluid, you could pour a shot of it, you could take a match and it'll go tss, and it'll go out. This stuff, if you say the word a match is nearby, it'll burst into blue flames.
Exactly.
So the mixture of these two is designed to get a volatile fuel-air mixture that'll instantly spark.
Right.
And I assume that's why we have fuses here.
Yeah, because I, you know, even though kids can do it and it's in theory totally safe, you know, why risk it?
So I guess, oh, you know what? I wonder how fast of an object we're gonna deal with.
So our projectile is gonna be tennis balls.
Give me.
For our barrel, we're gonna use Pringle cans.
Okay, so in theory, we could just pour some of this in here, set one of these in there, poke a hole, light it, and boom, in our hand?
Yeah, so, yeah, you could do it that way.
But then you have your hand holding an explodey thing, which is bad.
Right, so we're gonna do a couple things to sort of make that a little bit safer, make these last a little bit longer.
Give us runaway.
Exactly. So we're going to use these to both create a compression chamber and our barrel, and we're going to sleeve the whole thing in a piece of PVC pipe just to give us a little more rigidity.
Well, wait a minute. At that point, why do we even have the Pringles? I guess because they're the right shape.
They are much, much closer to the size, the diameter of the
tennis ball. Okay, well,
so
I guess
we need less wadding, if any.
Yeah, even this is, okay, so even this is, there's still chips in there. Ooh, wretch. You can feel the wobbling, and any of that air, we want it as narrow as we can, right?
Right, so we can shove some wadding down there just like a powder musket.
Oh, wait, no, yeah, okay, so would we just use foil maybe? Or
a newspaper or something, whatever we find, yeah.
How do we want to mount this in a way that it's not gonna explode and fling over and hit somebody?
Okay, well, so I've got this long piece of 3-inch internal diameter PVC pipe. Got
it. So this is just guardrails for this.
Exactly. And because we're taping all these together, those are all potential bend points.
Okay.
So we want to give a little bit of rigidity, give a little more reinforcement. And, you know, if you put a tennis ball in there, you can see we have a lot more slop than the Pringle can.
We want to, what, measure and cut this 1 unit of Pringle can down?
Nope. We are going to use all the Pringle cans to make 1 barrel. So we're going to cut down the bottoms of our Pringle barrels, attach them together. We need to make sure that there is an area for gases to expand.
The fact that this is situated down here, there's not enough room to have enough of an explosion to go anywhere.
Right.
Knowing that these are going to be inside of a PVC, we could just use tape to put them together.
Exactly.
So, I mean, could I just tear this?
No, don't do that.
Why not?
Because we want a nice clean edge so we can get a good seal.
Okay.
So here is our barrel, right? We want our tennis ball to sit somewhere here.
Is there a mathy thing for knowing where?
Yes, but I went to art school.
Yeah.
So the question I think I have for you, since you've got some experience with combustibles, do we want our combustion chamber to be 1 or 2 units tall?
Is it 6 long?
6 long.
Yeah, okay, so then what we could do is we could make 2 of these, and we could actually, if we have some of that piano wire left over, we could just do cross hatch twist on there.
Well, what I'm thinking is we just take 2 of them, put them end to end, and we drill a hole that is wide enough to let the fuel through, but not so wide that the tennis ball goes.
No. Then this becomes the propulsive thing, because when a wave of force comes on it, it's not all going to go through that hole magically. It's going to push this up.
Well, I'm saying that hole would be almost that whole thing. We want just the ring.
You're saying let this be the scaffolding that the ball rests on.
Correct.
That it cannot go lower than.
Yes.
Okay, so we are talking about the same thing, just from 2 different techniques.
Yeah. I'm saying let's do a subtractive manufacturing to make that. You're doing addition.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Drill bit right here to make a center point.
Okay, that'll work.
Yep.
Okay, so
Well, I guess those are going to chop off.
So we'll leave the tiny hole on this one because I'm thinking. So say we put our big hole on this, tape them end to end like that. Our fuse can go in that end, and then that's where our tennis ball will rest.
Yep, that tracks for me, and that'll be all inside the warm nestling safety of a PVC thing.
Of this thing, and it's going to grab. So be ready for that.
That's. This doesn't seem safe. Oh, be careful.
There you go. So yeah, if we just tape them like that, I think we're golden.
There's really no downside to too much tape. It's not like it's not going to fit in.
Right, and in fact, if we do a little too much and it's a little snug of a fit,
Yeah.
I'm even happier about that.
Okay, so that becomes our compression chamber. And this solves the other thing, because I was wondering if we have to drill something on the side, but the whole bottom is exposed.
yeah.
This is just whatever propulsion down is just going to be on the ground.
Right.
Got it. Oh, I see the shape of this now. This is going to be great.
Okay, so when we tape the rest together, let's just make sure we're getting, because this is almost a little too tight, so we'll have to fix that, but let's make sure that it's...
Actually, wouldn't we just put it in from this side and then kind of walk it on in?
Sure, except that we have all these other ones that we have to tape to that.
Why?
Because we want to keep all the pressure going in one direction.
The entire way up.
Yep, that one can be nice and snug, and in fact, we probably want it to be so that way it doesn't come blasting out of our...
Yeah, okay, the rest of them we want more svelte. I got it. Okay.
So if you can put that on the table, because I'm going to cut the bottoms off of these.
Okay.
What's up with your,
It's rusted and old.
It's not square.
Oh, that would be because I was cutting things at an angle previously.
I should have checked that.
Yeah.
We can just compensate with tape. We're all good.
All right.
Now we just have to tape these together in a way that's fairly straight and that will allow for a tennis ball to fall all the way through.
So we'll take the most jagged one and put it at the top, and these guys will be straight here, and we'll take the 2 straightest ones. In fact, we could just do this. We can make sure everything is sufficiently straight.
with little tidbits.
Little tack welds of tape.
Yeah.
I was going to get them all tack welded, and then we could reinforce.
Typically, the way I do things is I will do one at a time, so that way I know the ball's going to pass through. It's all lined up, and that way I'm not tolerant stacking.
But the problem is, my thinking is, whatever we do here, we lock it in. So if we're 1 degree off here, we don't get to find out that it's wrong until it's all the way up there. Whereas if we tack weld everything, we know the entire thing is straight. Then we can lock it in with reinforcing tape.
I'm fine with that level of problem solving. I'm cool with that.
All right. Look at that. That does line up nicely.
It's nice. Cool.
Here.
So before we put that one on, should we drop a tennis ball through to make sure it's going to go through all the way, so that way it doesn't get stuck at the bottom?
Okay.
And ready?
Yeah. Oh, that's very satisfying. In fact, here, we'll leave the tennis ball here. Go ahead and give me some tack spots, and then we can lock everything in. This is definitely misaligned here, but it doesn't have to be aligned because it only needs to make this journey
Exactly.
straight.
We're only traveling from there to there.
Okay, so here you go, sir. And so now we'll just go ahead and lock the rest of these in.
And I think you just do one wrap.
Yeah, because we don't want to overdo it.
All of our structure is coming from the tube itself, the PVC tube.
Yeah.
So we're just sealing those gases at this point.
Here you go, good sir.
Works for me, yeah?
Yep.
How do you go about eyeballing how much tape you need for a thing?
Well,
what's your way to do it?
I know for sure it's longer than a hand span.
Yep.
So this plus a little bit right here.
How do you check to make sure your pants are going to fit?
I usually put them on first and then correct accordingly. How do you do it?
I make a fist, then make a right angle with my elbow. And if my elbow to my fist fits in the waistband of the pant, I buy it.
Oh, you don't just remember the numbers and use that as a heuristic?
I'd have to remember numbers that way.
Oh.
This I never have to remember. It's always attached.
See,
at least for now.
I internalize the numbers, so then that way if the pants don't fit, then I'm like, something is broken on my diet, and then I fix it.
That's why I'm bigger than you.
Okay. For the fuse, I don't want to have to think about these guys floating around, so I'm just going to leave these soaking.
And I think we can cut those fuses in half.
Yeah, I think we can get 2 shots apiece on these. There you go, give it twisty.
I'm trying, but it's... Here, you got it?
You want to put a little WD-40 on it?
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, we only need it up front because it's going to wipe it from there, right?
Hopefully.
Oh dear, did it bite you?
A little bit.
It's not like it's not going to fit. Is it going down? Oh no! What have we done, Ryer?
Oh, it got me a little more than I thought it would.
Oh, did it bite you?
A little bit.
Oh no! Roll it back!
Is it blood?
Yeah, there's blood.
It was a good run. Good run.
We may be at a point now where we can hammer it in.
Okay, all right, so let's try.
Give it a little chutzpah.
Whoa.
There you go.
Hey, look, I'm the Blue Man Group. So we've got the payload that we're gonna rocket out. We got the fuses to get it started. Now we're to the part with the fuel mixture. Here we go. Okay, so here, fuse, here we go. Ooh, that's a good look, actually.
That's not terrible.
Oh, good day to you.
Scamstuff.com, Torbrenner.
Okay, so see if this guy lines up with the thing at the bottom. You see, that might be too big.
It's a little bit too big.
This guy's smaller. And if we really need it, I've got the adapter.
I think that's going to be just perfect for what we're trying to do.
Okay, so we can punch that in.
Yeah, it goes right in.
Yeah, okay, all right. For the first one, the lighter fluid by itself, as long as it's oxygenated and a good fuel-air mixture, seems like it should work, right?
It should work really well. It actually, it combusts a little more excitedly than the other stuff does.
Well, the other stuff is going to evaporate so fast, our window is going to be very small.
I also wonder, maybe we should put the tennis ball in first.
I think so. Yeah, actually, I don't know. Oh. Sure.
Okay.
It went all the way down to the bottom. How much do you think?
I'd say about a mouthful. No, like a thimbles amount?
Yeah, that seems about right. And in fact, whatever's excess is going to just dribble out the bottom, I imagine. Oh dear.
Like that.
That's, you know what? That was an effective demonstration of gravity.
Ready?
Yeah. Okay, so now
I think if you rock that around, roll it.
this, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, that'll work. And then we can just aim that, and then we're gonna what, fire and run away?
Yep.
Oh, nothing's coming out.
Okay.
Okay, so fuel's away. We've got water ready.
Yeah, we got
We worry about this flying out, so I'll hide behind this tree and
I can go over there.
yeah.
Everybody clear?
Are we good?
Range is hot.
Okay.
Ready?
All right, yep. Run. Is it still going?
I don't know.
Oh, this is the worst part of our plan.
Yeah.
We didn't consider a dud.
Okay.
Okay. So, not the right mix. So now let's try mixing the two fuel. What was the mixture of the fuels that you liked?
This, I like this.
Just straight that?
Just straight this.
Okay, less is more, I believe, if I remember much.
I think
of this.
about the same amount as we did last time will be good because it has a much easier time igniting.
When we were doing the potato cannon, the time it wouldn't go at all is if we spritzed it even a little bit too much.
Okay.
Whoa, is it still, there's smoke coming out of that.
Yeah. What that probably was the smoke of the fuse.
Just in there.
Just in there.
Yeah.
Because there's not really a good place for it to escape
Yeah,
from.
okay. Tamp it down. Yep.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna put less than you're saying in here.
Okay.
Okay. And we're gonna load it with a fuse. We're gonna light it and run. Run! We got the stoichiometry again. My intuition is that that was too much fuel, and that what we need is less fuel.
Okay.
There we go. Go ahead and throw the load in there. I'll keep on turning this.
3, 2, 1.
You know, we should have not a load in there and just see it go foomf.
I think also we need more fuel. I know what you're saying,
Go.
but we haven't tested that part.
I am but your humble servant, sir.
Also, we've had, what, 4 fuses now go up in there?
Uh-huh.
So there may not be a lot of air left in there if it's all been burning up in there.
That was also classically a problem, is that we needed to clear everything out.
Yeah. Okay.
So you wanted more fuel?
I think so. I mean, at least I just want to try it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't have a tennis ball in there. We just have
Yeah,
wadding.
I just want to see it go.
3, 2, 1.
The fuel-air mixture, it's always been very tricky in my experience.
I know it's a trick. That's why I wanted to switch to that, because it's less sensitive to a fuel-air ratio.
Yeah,
Oh, a bunch of smoke came out the bottom just now.
Yeah, that's great.
The wadding is probably stuck in there still, right?
Yep, the wadding's right there. Let's try with less fuel.
Okay.
There we go. So I barely did the tiniest bit. There we go. Yeah, I don't think there's I think, Hey! Well, let's try it without wadding.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm
And
thinking.
then that way the ball is just a seal, and we'll at least see if we can get it to give us the foamf, right? Okay, and then we'll put the ball in. Yeah. So I think we have too much fuel, not enough air. My theory is we don't have enough information about what makes for the right fuel-air mixture. So we're gonna test and see if we can get this to do the fuel-air thing, right? If we get this, then we'll know the recipe for a good thing. Then we modify the design we started with and make this the compression chamber. Does that work?
I like where your head's at. Let's do it.
So give me just the tiniest, just a blip.
Like you want to do it in a capful or just?
Like one capful, I think would be more than enough. And I think this is where we disagree. Yeah, there you go. That one capful. So now we have a specific measurement. And now I'm gonna keep whatever air was in there. There you go, so light that match. And I'm gonna do this and it should be like a rocket. You're gonna just drop that in there. Ready?
Yep.
Okay, get ready.
Yep. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So that was one capful in about, what, 7, 8, 9 times the volume here. And that's closer to what we want.
That's close to what we want. Should we just drill the hole out of the bottom like we did before?
So here's what I'm thinking. This is yay big, so we do this, but then we also have a little pilot hole for the fuse. No, we could do a little hole in here, wherever it's most reinforced, because that's gonna be the weakest point that is gonna be under pressure. So if it looked like this.
You're thinking like right here.
Yes.
Okay. Can we drill that hole and then just use gaff tape, and then we wrap the tape so we get a squishy gasket that we can squish in.
So it goes thunk on there each time. We could try it. But the important part is that we cracked the fuel-air mixture here. So you want to try it again just to make sure we get it right?
Well, I think we need more propulsion than that.
I think that what we got is as much as we're going to get.
Okay.
Because more fuel will not make a bigger boom.
Yeah.
That's the part that is counterintuitive and odd. There you go. Okay, so again, everything is, okay. So yeah, right now we have a volatile mix there. You want to light it and we could try it again? All right. Oh, so it's, let's do 2 capfuls and see what changes. That's 1, 2. Okay, then same thing. And boy, it really instantly. Okay, yep, that'll go.
Ready?
Yeah, go ahead and light it. Okay, closer.
That is close.
It's still going, still going. That's wild. So, okay, so what's happening is the fuel that's in there is it was continuing to combust and it was drawing in air and it's pulsing.
A pulse jet, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Pulse jet is what I was thinking of. We also found out that the structural integrity is not great. You said this was in a book for children?
I have done this so many times at a Boy Scout camp. I'm surprised it's not.
You seemed very confident.
I was very confident.
That was fascinating.
I do think that was much closer to the foomph that we want, though.
Yeah, but I know we can no longer trust this now. It has no structural integrity. That seemed like a pretty good mixture. So 5 gallons of air to 2 capfuls. So the diameter is 6.54 centimeters. So call that 5 feet. So call it 10 inches. Cubic centimeter, cc is a milliliter. So it's just under 1 liter. If we had 1 capful, we want less than, we want about 86% of 1/5 of 1 capful. How many fuses do we have left? 1?
Yeah. Now, we do have more mortars. So there are 5 more mortar fuses, which means we have 10 more fuses.
Okay, let's assume that whatever is gonna go is going. We'll just we'll just pour a bunch of this in there, coat the whole thing. There'll be way too much fuel, but it'll all be leaking out the bottom. As long as there's still liquid fuel,
we have some aerosolation
then
going.
as it gets past the fuel-air mixture thing, it's constantly replenishing with the evaporating fuel, right?
Okay, yeah.
I bet that's right. In fact, let's put nothing in there and just try it once, putting a ridiculous, like a full 2 capfuls.
I'm all for that.
Okay, all right.
We're doing that outside, or?
Oh, yeah. There you go. And I'm just gonna let that's drizzling down.
Oops, sorry.
That's also drizzling down. Okay, so now nothing's coming out the bottom.
Well, it may be getting stuck on the sides of the barrel.
Yeah,
and
just pour even more in. Keep going. There you go. All right, so that, I mean, wherever it is, it's not making it to the bottom.
All right.
There you go. And then this will be how we administer everything so we get a better sense of it. So plunger just barely in, and then if we just, is that in there?
Yeah.
Okay, so then we could just squirt. Oh, there you go, that was a lot. And now we know it's at the bottom. I guess we could try it with that. It's coming out wet. So I'll hold this here, you can put the fuse in, and then we'll all stand back away, out of the way.
Okay, everyone ready?
Yep. Out of the way, back, back, back. Kids book!
That's my experience.
Kids book?
Kids book.
Huh. All right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, this guy, yeah, look at that. So without anything in it, that was enough to, kids book, to knock this back.
That went in a lot easier than it did originally.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a little beat up. Let's do no wadding.
Okay.
Let's try the same thing. We'll be a little farther away this time, and we'll just put a tennis ball in there.
Okay, so we're gonna put, we said 8, right? That was our
Yeah,
math.
I think so. Go for it.
2, 4, 6, 8.
Okay, there we go. And so now, okay, it's dribbling out the bottom. Okay, okay.
Loaded.
Okay.
Fuse is in.
Okay, we're gonna run.
Okay.
The moment it lights, you're gonna run.
3, 2, 1.
Go, run, run, run. No, not that way. Run, 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 run. You ran right where it's dangerous.
Did it poof?
It just went thump. And also, look at all that smoke. There's no way. Yeah, right?
This is not attached to the,
Did you go to the movie theater to see Dune?
no.
Okay, I did. And it
Okay.
said Dune, part 1. I'm like, hey man, part 1. I love Dune,
I
the
see.
movie Dune. And then the movie ended and it said, get ready for part 2. And I was like, they did not advertise sufficiently that.
My website by P.R. Pringleton V. Today, I became a trillionaire for the 45th time. I owe it all to the incredible website that I laboriously hand-coded with my brother, Victor. We sell potatoes that are embedded in weapons, but we do not say they are weapons. That would be complicated. Unfortunately, oh dear. Oh dear, according to this, none of that happened. According to this, I am in the reality where my brilliant idea never happened because I never went to Squarespace. And in this reality, a very similar sounding name appears to be my exact idea, ripped off. Were I in this reality, I would have gone to squarespace.com/rogue. I would have taken my idea, shouted it to the world with award-winning designs. They would load fast, the pages would look beautiful, and with their scalable hosting, I could become an overnight sensation. And as people fell in love with my potatoes in a tube campaign, they would sign up for an electronic mailing list. Had I been using Squarespace, I could have an electronic store in which people could purchase my invention. What's this? In this timeline, you already have robots? Robots trained on years of best practices of award-winning designs? My goodness, what wonders? Okay, there's no way this is true. You could try it out for free by going to squarespace.com/rogue. And if you use promo code ROGUE at checkout, you can get 10% off. Well, I don't even know what currency you use in this timeline, but I'm certain that's a lot of savings. Well, let me just type go to squarespace.com/rogue. Well, apparently, web pages don't come on paper here.
And that's a message from, what was your name again?
Nobody knows. That's the thing about my name. Yeah, being a character from an alternate reality means very wobbly. Sometimes, always. You ever see a tag team wrestling match on the WWEFF? That's the Worldwide Electronic Federation of Financing.
Thanks, Mr. Pringle.
This video was supported in part by viewers like you at patreon.com/modernrogue, where you can see a bunch of unedited multicam views of our episodes, guest interviews, and you could even get your name in the credits.
Well, the fuel to air, we don't have any way to agitate it.
Ooh, shake it. Roll it around.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, no, that works.
Sorry, can you do that again, Ryer? No, the rolling around.
Dude, he wants you
Oh, you want to do this again? Just roll around. Don't do the cool thing with Torbrenner. Look like a freaking idiot.
Just say, hey guys, do you need a cigar lit? Allow me.
I don't know if you've heard of me, but I invented the tour.